All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It is Thursday. For those of you who are thirsty, it is Thursday. What are we talking about today? Well, yesterday we had awesome Robbie Robertson, and I don't go back and watch episodes very often because it's one take and then that's it. I don't look back, but I did. And what happened was I got to talking about him, which, I do love him. And I looked up at the timer and I was at 7 minutes and I was like, oh man, 7 minutes. We're in the danger zone. We're going to lose half of you. There's going to be two of you watching here. And then I kind of sped things up. But the two things that I noticed were, one, the important stuff about his mother and her heritage was that it would come and flow through his music and some of his song titles. And then he did some albums around that. And that's where it would all have come together if I had mentioned that. And the other is, hey, if you want to get to know Robbie Robertson more, just read his book. That's all you got to do. You're welcome, Robbie. You just got one more book sale. Hit me up. We'll chat. All right, so what are we talking about today? I said to you, I think on Sunday, Slow Down Sunday, I said I was going to do some more new wave stuff because I felt like I just hadn't done that in a while. And here I am. I didn't really throw a ton of that at you. And so today's one of those days, and I have a bunch of this stuff that I'm thinking I need to post about, and part of it is, some of it comes to be that in my season 1 I covered some bands and just threw every single song about them, and then that was it because I thought we were a one season production here, but then we got renewed at the last second. Thank you, Netflix. So anyway, but this is not one of those bands. So I heard this song the other day and I was like, you know what? We're going to do this. So let's talk a little bit about A Flock of Seagulls. Not Flock of Seagulls. It's A Flock of Seagulls for you, just so you know. So Flock of Seagulls. I'm a big fan, right? Of course I am. They were right in my wheelhouse. They had 4 global hits from 82 to 84. And that was the golden age of MTV. So there's a lot to like here, right? Of course, English band, formed in 1979 in Liverpool. The usual story about starting off in clubs, getting a record deal, and then playing in the John Peel sessions in 81, and that's what really kind of launched them. They put out 1 or 2 singles that didn't do much. Then they put out Telecommunication, which we'll get back to. And that started picking things up, but then they put out Iran So Far Away, depending on which single you bought, in 1982, and that's when, boom, everything just exploded, right? And so, yeah. So Flock of Seagulls, huge from 82 to 84, and by 88 they had dissolved, and that was it. So, what do you guys think about A Flock of Seagulls? They were subject to so much criticism and parody because of the way they looked. But there were plenty of people on MTV in 1982 and 83 that were doing all kinds of crazy stuff with their images. I mean, yes, they had the outfits and the crazy space outfits and, that, of course, the hair, which would later just be cemented in parody in Pulp Fiction when he says, hey, flock of seagulls. Did they deserve that? I don't know. I mean, you watch any video from 82, 83, and there was all kinds of wild stuff on there. I mean, everybody was doing all kinds of weird stuff. Billy Idol, Pat Benatar, I mean, you name it. They all, it was just, there was a lot of different stuff going on. Men Without Hats, I mean, their video with little people in it. I mean, it was just, Boy George. I mean, there was a lot going on there. I don't know why A Flock of Seagulls got so piled on. Because an actual fact is their music was credited in the early 80s of being just perfect synth pop rock that was influenced so many people and was so good. So let's get into it. Their debut album was in 1982. They put out the single Iran So Far Away. That went to number 1 in Australia, number 7 in New Zealand, number 9 in the United States. Guess what? In their home country, the UK, didn't even make the top 40. Where's the love, guys? What happened? They were still like, what? WTF? Before there was even a WTF. But anyway, their video for that song, I mean, you know, it's going around in a circle, or is there garbage bags on the floor? But the hair and the synth, they've got a lead singer playing synth with the strange haircut. It just worked. That song was so good. I just loved Iran, and I loved that song always. There was a time in the mid 80s, a little bit later, where that kind of music was like kind of being dumped on a little bit because it was all about metal hair band ballad stuff. But I was like, I had gotten away from it, then I went back to it, and I was just like, dude, I just love this stuff. I love the synth. Got to admit. Then they put out Space Age Love Song. That was a huge hit, was it not? Well, I mean, yeah, it went to number 30 in the United States, but it was big everywhere else. I mean, it was just that's a great song right there. You forget about how good of a song that one is. You might even like that one more than Iran, but you forget about it, right? Then there's this instrumental called DNA. It won a Grammy for Best Rock Instrumental in 1983. How about that? They won a Grammy. All right. Then they end up playing the US Festival in May of 83. One of my favorite episodes in the Rock Cave is about the US Festival. And if you want, you should go back and check it. But that was such a great story. The story about that one is good. But they played with Oingo Boingo. Hello. Wanderlust Wednesday. They're coming. Men at Work. Hello, I only covered them once. I could talk, you know, anyway. They played with so many on that day. I think Missing Persons was there. Anyway, that was huge. I mean, they were global hits. So, Telecommunication, great song. You hear it now on First Wave, but a lot of people may not be familiar with it. Then things started kind of going away from synth. They put out The More You Live, The More You Love. That's a great song too, by the way, but it was kind of a little departure of their music, but not really. And then they were done after that, 88. So anyway, here I am, sitting here talking about my 7-minute videos, and here I am at 7 minutes with Flock of Seagulls. You're welcome, people. I don't know, maybe they'll be quicker this weekend. But you're listening to Flock of Seagulls this weekend. I love this music. It's all about the synth. It's all about the look. I was just the right age. I was just enthralled on the TV, the video. It just worked for me. So, play yourself some Flock of Seagulls. Just play those 4 or 5 songs, and you'll be in Memoryville. You're welcome, everyone. As usual, have a good one, and I'll catch you on the flip side.